Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender, the Me, Myself, and I playthrough of the main event scenario. The game is published by GMT Games, designed by Salvatore Vasta, developed by Mark Day. We are getting ready to go into September, of 1943. The weather is fair in September in all places. There is no declaration of war by the Axis. However, the West is going to declare war on Vichy. So, by the rules, French North Africa here is conquered. Syria is conquered. So I add 1 to the die roll for Vichy always rolls a die to see if it actually jumps in the war or it leaves. And I have to add 2. If my total is 4, 5, or 6, they will simply surrender and all these things will become German. So we're going to roll a die here for the declaration of war on Vichy. And we roll a 6. Didn't even need the +2. So Vichy says, no, we're not going to fight. And I will put in German control markers at a later time. But basically, all of this has just got German control markers on it right now. But Vichy is not in the war. But they have been declared war on by the West. And the Soviets don't have a declaration of war. They're like, you warmongering Western decadent democracies. You shouldn't be doing that. In the economy phase, the Germans are up to 36 production points. The British are at 32, and the Russians are also up to 36. And that's because everybody's got their maximum production this turn, because of the way strategic warfare went last turn. So that takes us into the strategic warfare phase. The Russians are at +2. The Germans are at +1. The Germans, wrong one. The Germans do have a submarine, but they're going to save it because I see Ultras over on the west, and I'm worried about him. You know, if I get one back from the Soviets, I might just lose it there. I'm going to try and get one, make sure I keep my my factories up. So I'm going to kind of save the sub right now until I think I need to use it to get a factory back. So the Germans roll with +1. A 3 + 1 is a 4. The Russians are not going to use their partisans. They want to use it in the last clear weather turn to make a breakthrough. So the Russians roll a 5 + 2 is a 7. And a 3 to a 7 is the Germans lose a factory. So their factory loss counter goes up 1. So that means when we get to the next phase, where Germans are at +3, we managed to keep them from getting us in bond markers. The Allies are at +2. We go to commitment, and you would think that as the Allies, I immediately want to throw an Ultra to try and keep them at that -1 factory. But since I declared war on Vichy, I have things I need to do with not only my surprise attack markers, but my free forces and the Ultra marker are probably going to come in handy for invasions to give me an extra +1 here and there. So I think as the Allies, I'm going to play a little game here and not commit. The Germans, on the other hand, would be sitting there saying, I need to throw out my submarines to try and get my factory back. So that's what they do. And they go to commitment, and the West says, no. And the Germans go, huh? And go, oh crap. They're going to invade me someplace. And with Vichy not being, you know where we're going. It's Marseille. So the Germans are going to have to either strategically redeploy something or try and move something into Marseille, and then they have to protect Genoa, and it gets really, really messy here, really, really fast. Especially with the holes that are sitting on the Eastern Front. That's why I declared war on Vichy. So the strategic die roll, the Germans are halved, or the West is halved. The Germans roll a 1 + 3 is a 4, and the West rolls a 3 + 2 is a 5. Halved to 2.5 rounds up to a 3. A 4 to a 3 is a diamond. So the Germans get back their factory. So they're back up to their full production again next turn. They'll have 36 again. So that was what was important there. By the way, I know I forgot to do something. The Germans are going to give 2 of their points away, much as I hate to do this. I believe I need to move possibly both Hungarians and both Romanians from the Eastern Front. So I forgot to do that and point that out to everybody. The Germans roll a die to see when their submarine's going to come back. They rolled a 3. So, okay, 3 turns from now. 1, 2, 3. By the way, you'll see that the Russian partisans marker moved from December to November. That's because I can't count. If you count 3 from August, it's 1, 2, 3 November, and for some reason I put it in the December turn. So that's why there's a partisan marker there in November instead of December, because it was a 3 on the die roll and I didn't count right. I don't know. Caught that in editing. The other thing I caught in editing, which I'll go over right now, this shock army that I ran across the Dnieper, I realized when this attack failed, I had assumed this attack was going to work, and I would blow this up, and then I would have a supply line. He does not, because he has to go through zones of control to get to his 2 hexes to a rail line. So he's not in supply. So he's at a low supply marker, which will make a difference when we get to that point. Strategic movement. The Axis needs to get their marker on their card. Why does it always do that? There we go. And then they've got to... Oh, God, what do we do? They've got invasion markers all over the place. I don't want to give them a free invasion here. Where's the... they're in Naples. The British are not on a port. He does have garrisons on ports. So I'm in... Boy, I've got problems here, don't I? That infantry unit I was going to run off to the east, I think it's going to have to come back. This guy I put in Posen, and I'm going to have to move him back to the west since Vichy decided not to fight. I'm going to have to move him. Hey, why doesn't it take the thing? I hate that. I'm going to go ahead and strategically redeploy him into Marseille. That's just to prevent them from having an easy invasion and just start running up into the south of France. That's about all I can do, really. Some short units here. I think I'm going to have to run away here as well, out of Italy. Like I said, they can always invade here with this thing. So maybe I will try to hold it for a turn with just the Africa army. Just move this infantry up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't get there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, maybe I have to hold it with the infantry unit then. Well, then I should get on to strategic movement for other people. The West doesn't have one. They're kind of happy. Soviets, did they have anything lagging behind here? Not really. Everything's pretty much, depending on where the Germans go, everything's pretty much where it needs to be for the Russians. So yeah, we're on the German operations phase. Boy, oh boy. The Germans have a nasty problem here. First things first, let's have this go after Little Goya. So it's just like it was last turn, -2 to -4. Germans are hoping for a 5 or a 6. They get a 1, so that's just going to be exchanges. And I've gone through this in other videos where it's a mathematical thing. That if the Germans don't get a 5 or a 6, they suffer 1, and then they're both at 5, so it doesn't matter what the next combat die roll is. You can't go over 6 sorties, so... we're going to do the same thing here with Bryansk is going to go after Kalinin. Is that what it is? Yeah, Kalinin. Again, I need a 5 or 6. Got him at 5. So now the Russians need a 6 to avoid getting a 2 for 1. And they got a 6. 6 minus 4 is 2, and 5 minus 2 is 3, and a 3 to a 2 is a diamond. So they each take 1. And then, again, the Germans are just going to say we have to kind of cancel out the ones in the north because they're going to be stripping armies away to go defend the south. So that's why I'm trying to hit up the north one as much as possible right now. All right, this one goes after Moscow. Same thing. I need a 5 or a 6. Got a 3, so that doesn't work. That's Orel, and then oh dear. 3, 4, 5. I guess I have to off-strict go after this one down here in the south. See if we get a 5 or 6. I got a 5, and the Russians rolled a 1. So I got it by 2 for 1 here in the south. So Nostrick still has a sortie left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't quite defend Orel. And his airplane can reach Orel, so he can probably do one attack there and with his airplane, but wouldn't be able to move up. Or he can move up and do one attack somewhere else. And there's nothing I can do about it. If he moves within rate 5 of here, which is where the big open space is, I can counter one of his air combats. Okay. The Axis needs to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just counting how many production points I have to spend. 11. Probably 12. And then 13. I probably have to move 13 points for sure. I really can't strip stuff off the coast. It's already really thin. With him having two invasion markers, he can go all sorts of places. He could go to the traditional Le Havre, between Le Havre and Cherbourg. He could actually try to go into the Pas de Calais around and, up in there to try and take Calais. He can come in here at Brest and then at the Bay of Biscay, hitting Bordeaux or Nantes. He's got lots of choices besides just going to Marseille. This just keeps him from getting a free invasion. Unopposed. It's an unopposed kind of thing. But I also have to watch out for... Now, I have to double check. He can go up here with something out of like Brindisi, could land, move a hex, and then he could sea transport somebody in and make my life really miserable. So I have to try and protect Venice too, because he doesn't have a real good defender there. So this is really horrible. I think I got to spend more points than I want to, because I have, if I redo all my airplanes, that would be 15. Just to look at the production. If I have to do 15, and then on my faction track, I have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. 15 and 9 is 24. I'm going to move more than 10 points, so something's either not going to get built or an airplane's not going to get cleared. I'm not sure exactly how that's all going to work out. But already I'm starting to run out of production points with the Germans, and I'm at full production capacity. So, and it usually does happen sometime here in 43 or early 44 that you get to this point. So this guy, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I did this right, it's 1, 2, 3 for the ridge, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he can't get up there. So I have to activate him first for 2, and then the infantry 1, 2, and then the infantry for 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to activate both of them. I could try to do a silly attack here, but that would be kind of a waste. I need to just sort of slow him down and try to defend as best I can. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into Venice. And then he's going to go 1, 2, and then 3 for the ridge, 4, 5 into that hex. Reason being is the other one, he could have come around the side, and I would have had, maybe a retreat into Rome, and if he did mobile attacks, he would be able to isolate me. This way, depending on how he attacks, I should be able to retreat a hex, and it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He can't quite get past this ridge line up here, I don't think. Unless, of course, he gets it like a DE type result or something, but I don't think he can. I don't think he can get enough pluses to do that. So, and even if he gets past the ridge line, then I just have to try and run around the corner and get into Milan, and we just have to defend the Po rather than the line in front of it with Bologna. That's all I can do for defending Italy. I really don't have the points to spend. Oh, I shouldn't have that up. I should get over here to the east, where I'm going to have to do lots and lots of running around. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do, I'm not even sure I'm going to even try to defend Sebastopol. I'm going to activate this Romanian. That's why I gave them the points. So that's one of the Romanians. And he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's 5, 6, 7 to attack him. And then normally I start at +0. And he would be +1 for shock arm, elite, +1 for shock and fair, -2 for low supply. And then the Iranian starts off at 0. He gets +2 because the guy's isolated. And then it's -1 for the river. So I'm a +1 to a 0. Just looking to try and maybe chip him away a little bit here. Get lucky, So we'll try that. The Romanians roll a 5. +1 is a 6. And the shock army rolls a 4. 6 to a 4. Is that? Oh, that's a retreat. So I do get to flip him. So that might make it easier to knock him out with another unit. So that's good. Because now he'll be -2. Okay. That was a worthwhile Romanian point spent. Real question is who do I take him out with? I think at this point I'm going to use the 7th Garrison. That's a German point. And he's going to move 1, and then it's 2, 3, so he has 5 movement points left. And he's attacking at +2 because he's isolated. And the shock army is actually -2 because he's +1 for elite, +1 for shock, -2 for low supply, -2 for being flipped. So a +2 to a -2. Hopefully I get him right away. Help my defenses if he does. So we roll. Oh, the Germans rolled an 8, and at -2, it's a best he can get's a 4. He will be eliminated no matter what he does. So, that puts a factions card right in the middle of the board again. So there's a shock army that went off the board. This goes away. I can take the hex. How am I going to defend the Niper Bend here? I'm not going to defend it very well, that's for dang sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can put in real infantry in there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this guy. Boy, there's no good way to defend this. Let's see, I have 5 movement points left. I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 5 there. Alright, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd, that's horrible. Everything's horrible. Whatever I do is horrible. Go. If I take the hex, and I've got 5 movement points left. I suppose I could go. I can't go out because this guy's just going to have to move and get away. He's going to have to run away. I don't see any good place to send this garrison. Well, this garrison, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and an infantry unit there, an Iranian there, and a German there. I don't think I'm going to take the hex. I think I'm just going to move back to here. This Romanian is the weak link. He comes down here with one of these guards units and attacks it with a tanks unit. If he can get it eliminated, then he gets a no enemy zone of control and can move into there. Surrounding Depnostric and whatever I stick in the bend. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the other Romanian into here so this guy doesn't have a retreat route. That might be the thing to do. Okay, that's what I'll do in a minute. First off, this unit is just here to die. So we'll go spend the Hungarian. The Hungarian Garrison is here to just make life miserable for the Russians, which means going like 1, 2, and 3. He's just sticking a zone of control in the middle of their running around so that they'll take the time to kill him, hopefully. Then we will activate a German. There. This one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into Depnostric. And then this garrison is going to go 1, actually you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into the bend. It's not a good defense, but that's all I have. And then this Romanian's going to go there. So we used up a Romanian and another German. How many Germans should I have now? I spent 3 in Italy, so that put me down to 31. Alright, I spent 3 in Italy. And I spent 1 here. 2, 3 more. I spent 6, and I started at 36, gave away 2, spent 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I'm at the right place. 28. Okay, now we gotta go up here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 2 more. Just so you kind of understand what I'm doing here, I am trying to build up a semi-defense line, so to speak, that I can put this armored unit behind. Hopefully these infantry units won't necessarily die, they'll just get retreated. But I need to put, like, this infantry unit here is going to go here for another point. This infantry unit's going to go, actually, he actually goes in Bryansk, which normally you would say don't go in the city, but in order to make the line fit right, you have to do that. The Hungarian, again, just to try and mess up some of the armor movement and stuff, trying to channel him to attack where I want him to. I'm not going to try to defend Orel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This armored unit's going to have to go down here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which kind of slows him down. The decision is whether to put the Hungarian back here as a reserve and throw a German unit here, or do I want to stick the Hungarian someplace odd, like here. Like I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and kind of force them to go north, because otherwise they have to waste movement points killing the Hungarian to the south. Or I could just go like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could just like go back here and hold, you know, some rough terrain or something to from the Desna River, and have this 4th Army go into 2550 to try and give me something there. Oh boy, I really don't know which way's the best way to go here. He's got these units that can move up here too, these armored units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. 3 attacks on this guy. So maybe I need to stick the Hungarian up there. But he's going to attack him. You can only attack in one place or the other. Maybe this guy isn't going to go into Bryansk. Maybe he goes in front of Bryansk. Like that. This guy goes here. That's what I think I do. And then we put the Hungarian 1, 2, 3, 4, threatening to move into Kharkov. And if he kills it, an enemy, no enemy's on control doesn't help him there. Okay, yeah, what the heck. So that was the other Hungarian point, and then I'm going to count the Germans again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I spent 10 here, and then I spent 3. So if I spent 10 there, that would be 24, and then I spent 3 in Italy, so that should leave me at 21, I think. And I think that's all I can do, because I really need to try and, bring up. If I bring up airplanes, and then I have 6 points, I could build all 3 armor. And if I leave 1 airplane out of it, which I probably will have to do, I can get the 3 infantry built as well. Because I have a feeling I'm going to need the infantry when the West gets done with their attacks. Because I just got this feeling they're going to land over creation. Excuse me. Get a drink of water here. So now I got to check and make sure all my guys are still in supply. 1, 2. Yeah, he's in supply to there. These guys are in supply at the moment. Down here. Yeah, I had to give him Sebastopol. It's not worth it to try and hang a unit out there to stop him. You probably will fail. It weakens the line along the Dnieper River here. And if he just busts through that way, then whoever's down there just gets isolated and dies anyway. So I might as well have him die slowing him down getting across the Dnieper, right? Dnieper, the Neza, trying to keep him off the Duna. And then the northern 2 guys are probably going to have to run come October, because this line's going to probably a bit broken. We'll just have to wait and see how this goes. Okay, that is the beginning turn phases, and of the German operations. We will come back with the Western operations. We will call this a turn. I know I've got a lot of things I want to try and do with the West, so this is probably going to be a 3-part episode. One for the beginning turn Axis, the middle for the West, and then the Soviets at the end. So we're going to call that this episode. This is Dren 608. This is the Unconditional Surrender playthrough of me, myself, and I. If you like my videos, please subscribe. I do respond to comments. Real life delays me getting to them sometimes, but I will respond at some point. And we will see you in a little bit with the Western Operations phase. Bye-bye.